All right, everyone. So it is official. Chargers keeping Keenan and Mike. They're structuring their contracts. Saves us 14.4 million after we cut Matt Filer. That should basically get us to where we needed to be under the cap. Um, Look, man, I'm happy we kept Keenan. Like I said, I'm gonna have a lot of opinions that are not gonna be popular because I see a lot of people are super excited for this decision. I'm not extremely excited because I'm looking. I mean, the good thing is it looks like there's a way out if things don't go right. But I mean, it looks like we're keeping Keenan long term, and I love Keenan. But like I mentioned in like a previous video, I never thought that Mike Williams, um, Keenan Allen, and now Joshua Palmer is going to be like that trio of receivers for us. I don't think they complement each other very well. Um, so for me, I don't know. Like I think we have a lot of weapons. Like obviously we still have Eckler. There's even conversations about us cutting Everett, but I think Everett's a good player. I think we're getting more than the value of what we're paying him. So I don't really want to cut him. But I look at all our weapons. We have a lot of weapons, but they don't complement each other well. I think we need some speed. We need more than one speed guy in order to get these guys open. Like, I don't think you should have all three of these guys on the field that often. I think you should always have a speed guy with these guys. Um, so that's kind of where I stand with our trio. But I'm looking at this restructuring. I don't like the idea of kicking the can down the road, especially with the idea that Justin Herbert's contract's coming up and we're trying to sign him now, which makes sense. Let's sign him before Joe Burrow. Hurts is going to get his contract soon. Let's sign him early. I'm really hopeful, like for the idea that Herbert, he seems more humble. I think it would be great if he took more friendly deal. I would like for him to win and have the Chargers win consistently. And that isn't going to happen if we make him the highest paid quarterback. Um, I think the smartest thing for him to do was maybe like, you know what, have him be like, you know what, you take 18% of the salary cap every year for the next 8 years. I don't know. I think a contract like that would be pretty awesome. But yeah, I hope he's humble and helps us a little bit with cap space because I mean, the numbers are showing that man, you can't really win if you pay a quarterback so much money when they're taking up. I think it's over 15% of the salary cap. If they're taking over that, like you can see the dramatic dip in wins for top tier QBs. So I hope we don't break like the bank too much. Although he deserves it, it's just I want to win as well. You know, it's not saying we're not going to pay him, but I just would like to think he would be a little team friendly when it comes to his contract, as long as the team does right by him, right? But yeah, going back to this receiver core, like I said, they don't complement each other well. I don't like the idea that our two top wide receivers, especially next year, are going to be taking over 60 million cap space. But not only that, two guys that have been pretty injury prone, especially Mike Williams. Keenan has been good the last 2 years, but you know what? Last year made me nervous. It took him over 2 months to recover from a hamstring issue. That makes me nervous. He's getting older. He's what, 31 now. So I don't know how long we plan him to keep him on the roster. The good thing is we could still save a ton of cap space if we cut him next year with like an $11 million cap hit. I don't think it's updated on this yet. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm not a big fan of. I think we should have traded him. I don't think you need a top tier receiver. Like I think Mahomes showed that this year. As long as you have a core of receivers that are well balanced, you can make a lot of great things happen. And they were very creative with their offense. And I think Kellen Moore can do that. I don't think he necessarily needs a bunch of top tier receivers. I think Kellen Moore would be creative enough. I think if we had a well balanced group of receivers, because the one thing we lacked last year was receiver depth, man. First of all, Staley, you better bring more than 4 or 5 receivers to the field next time. But we lacked depth, and then our depth guys weren't really great receivers. They were more gadget players. So, and this is then where it comes down to my next issue with this move. I don't like the idea that, again, so the other now, in order to clear cap space, we got to cut a bunch of other dudes. Right? Matt Filer's going to be one. But we still got to resign guys like Pipkins. I don't think we're keeping Adderley. I'm okay if he's gone. But also Tranquil. Hopefully Morgan Fox. But the problem is that even if we cut a bunch of guys to clear up, let's say we get 20. I heard a number I heard was, well, maybe clear up like 20 something mil for cap space. But once we sign those guys, well, how much is left? Because we still need to like actually get some depth pieces. I've also heard of us restructuring Joey Bosa's contract again. Like, how much are we going to keep paying this dude? It feels like he's not always on the field. And I don't know, man. I mean, he's already going to take a dramatic cap hit. I don't know if we should be doing that. So I don't like this move. This is my biggest reason why I hate this move. Like, I know everyone wants a ton of receiver talent, but it's clear you don't need it, right? Mahomes is showing that. I mean, Andy Reid is so creative with his offense that he doesn't need top-tier receivers. As long as he has good players, like, he can make this offense work. I mean, obviously there's Kelsey, but we still got Mike Will, Eckler. Like, we got some pieces if we didn't keep Allen. But this is my biggest concern with this move. And that is the fact that, like, we always seem to have an injury issue. And now we have zero cap space to work with. Like, we will barely be able to sign players. Like, we have to find a lot of team-friendly contracts in order to really build this roster out. And I don't like that. Like, look, players are gonna get hurt. We're gonna have to sub guys in and out. And the fact that we won't be able to do that, again, like, we'll be so top-heavy that if we get any key injuries, which seems to happen to us all the time, we're kind of screwed. We end up having to play players that we don't really believe in. Like, we have a bunch of guys that play on special teams that we almost never put in the rotation when it comes to defense or offense. And this is what worries me. It's just we're not clearing enough cap space to build a well-rounded roster. We're too top-heavy. One injury, two injuries to a main guy for us can really derail our season. And I mean, I don't know if Mike Williams has ever even played a full season where we're paying him so much money, and he's not always the most reliable player. As dynamic and as great as he can be on the field, let's be honest, like, there's games where we all know where he just disappears. He's a 50-50 type of player, meaning he lands on his back a lot, and he's had back injuries. I don't like the fact that we're paying two guys so much money that are guys that can easily get hurt and be out for weeks. I would prefer to have a more well-rounded roster. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to really agree with my take because, like I said, I love Keenan. If I had a choice between one of the Mike or Keenan, I'd keep Keenan. I think he's more consistent. I think he will fit better around any type of players. I think he's a great slot. I've loved him ever since we drafted him. I've never liked Mike Williams' inconsistency. But I just think these two guys together not only don't complement each other very well, but now it just feels like we're going to be paying two guys that don't stay on the field very often too much money, and it's also going to cost us in terms of depth. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Like, I mean, Jesus, man, look at the salary cap for, oh man, sorry, like, the next year. If we keep both of these guys, man, $65 million between two receivers. I do not think that is a winning formula. I mean, you look at most Super Bowl contenders, how many top number one receivers actually win Super Bowls? It's not a very high number. Also, the thing for me is, like, when I look at, like, the Kansas City Chiefs, and when it comes to, like, even Tyreek Hill, I don't think Tyreek Hill is a great receiver. I just think he's just so fast that he's like a good player, right? Like, if you were to, like, watch his route running, I don't think he'd be a top tier receiver. I just think it's just he's so fast. He outruns everyone. Like, I don't know. I feel like we can make players or, like, good receivers, Herbert will make better. We don't need to be paying $65 million for two guys. And this is not even including Joey Bosa's hit next year. Those three guys alone are going to be hitting almost $100 million. And, I mean, Khalil Mack probably gets cut after this year. I don't know if they're going to restructure him again, but we got to stop. Like, with Herbert contracts coming, like we should start setting up to be able to build a team around him going forward. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. If you have, your opinions, by all means, let me know. Maybe you can sway me, because right now, the way I'm looking at this, I'm not feeling like we're a well-rounded team. We're just way too top-heavy. Similar to the Rams the last few years, they were just lucky to stay healthy. That's why I think they won. But one injury would have derailed them completely. Knowing us, it's just hard to believe that we will stay healthy all year. Anyways, y'all, that's just kind of my opinion on it. Let me know if you agree or not. I would like to hear different people's perspective. But, yeah, I just think we could have handled this better. But, I don't know. Maybe you can sway me. Let me know. I'm out, y'all.